Yep, real.
You're the Terminator.
Yeah, Debbie. All right.
I wish I had a normal accent. I would so works. All right. We good?
Yeah.
All right. We'll make it. Don't worry about this. So today is kind of an interesting lesson. We kind of talked about this last year, but not all of this. We're going to be in Luke chapter 10, 38 through 42. If you got your Bibles, or it should be on the next slide. But we're going to be in Luke chapter 10, 38 and 42. And yeah, I also want to add, everyone's already said it this morning. I'm so thankful for Kelsey. She is an awesome mom. She was like, I remember even in high school, like other girlfriends of hers were like, mom of the bunch. She's always been like a mom figure. I'm really grateful for my mama. And just thank you all for all that you do. Also, I'm not going to go into all the details, but we had a very big and important conversation with our kids a couple days ago. That 5 years ago, they were not ready to have yet. And I genuinely, I 100% believe that because of a lot of the moms in this church, like that have been teaching them in class and stuff, they were just so prepared for that conversation, and I don't know how to explain it. Like it was one of those that I didn't even know if they were old enough to hear it yet. And when we kind of broke the news to them, we're talking about there's this thing that's going on. They just like lately had good ideas on what we could do to make it better. I brought up a Bible story, and Lane was like, "That sounds a lot like this other Bible story." Logan had great ideas. It was just, yeah, I couldn't be more proud of them. I appreciate everybody that's investing in our family. Okay, so here's the lesson today. The lesson is, this is the Mary and Martha when Jesus comes to visit, right? You're worried and bothered about everything, but only one thing is necessary. So kind of punchline is this: you may not be bad, but you're not doing what's best. Okay? Y'all, can we say that together one time?
Yes.
You may not be bad, but you're not doing what's best. Okay? That's what today's about. Or if you've heard, we've done this before. The devil can make you bad. What will he do? Make you busy, right? All right, let's read this passage. We've got, I think, four examples we're going to look at, and then we're going to start preaching. All right, Luke 10, verse 38. Now, as they were traveling along, he entered a village, and a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. And she had a sister called Mary, who was seated at the Lord's feet, listening to his word. But Martha was distracted with all her preparations. She came up to him and said, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to do all the serving alone? Then tell her to help me." But the Lord answered and said to her, "Martha, Martha, 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 you are worried and bothered about so many things, but only one thing is necessary. For Mary has chosen the good part, which shall not be taken away from her." So, all right, first thing to think about. Is Martha doing something inherently evil like murdering? No. In fact, she has relatively good intentions, right? She's trying to be a good host. And she's like, "Jesus, look, we got so much to do." And Mary's in here, right? And what does Jesus tell her? You are two things. You might have a different translation, but the same point. You are worried and bothered. Okay, worried is like, I'm concerned about a problem, right? And bothered is like, that gets under my skin. Don't answer this, but are you easily bothered by stuff? Okay, y'all wanted to answer. Good. All right. And do you worry about stuff? Okay, so Martha, it's not just, I'm going to put, this is Will's words, okay? I think you can worry about things that matter. Right? You can worry, like Paul worried about his churches. You can worry about things that matter. But she's worried about so many things, which includes, like, food, you know? And I don't know if you ever heard Jesus talk, but he's like, I am more than food. Really didn't care about food. He started his ministry off with 40 days of no food. And she's bothered. Bothered by what? Bothered by what somebody else is doing. Which is who? Her sister. And I'm bothered about what she's doing. Anybody in here like I spend time like wasting my life worried about or bothered by how somebody else is living their life. So what does Jesus say? He's like, listen, sweetheart, you have Jesus Christ in the room with you right now, and you're worried about cooking and cleaning, and you're worried about what other people are doing, and what you should be focused on is what? The one thing that matters, which is spending time with the Lord. I said this in Bible class. Y'all remember what to do, guys. Remember what to do, okay? If you found out that Jesus Christ was preaching right now at the old Sticky Floors in Hartford, you know what every last one of us should do? We should get up and go to Sticky Floors. Because no matter what is going on in your schedule, even if it's like church on a Sunday morning, if you have the chance to go see Jesus Christ, you need to drop what you're doing and go spend time with the Lord. I got one amen. Thank you. I would love like one more. Amen. You got a chance to be around Jesus Christ. Stop what you're doing and spend time with the Lord. All right. Here's our next one, because I want to get to the fun slide. All right. Here's another one. 1 Samuel 15. So Samuel is a prophet sent by God to set up Saul as the people's choice, the first king of Israel. Bad choice, right? So here was the instruction in verse 3. Now go and strike Amalek, as a bad guy king, and utterly destroy all that he has. Do not spare, put to death both man, woman, child, ox, sheep, camel, and donkey. Everything that Amalek has, you will wipe his name from history. That's what God tells Saul to do. You understand the commandment? All right. Well, this is what happens. You go to verse 13. Samuel came to Saul, and we're skipping 10 verses. Samuel came to Saul and said to him, Saul said to Samuel, Saul says to Samuel, blessed are you of the Lord. I have carried out the commandment of the Lord, which is what? Kill everything. Everything with a heartbeat. Kill it. Everything that evil king stood for, you get it away from the people of God, because it will destroy us. But this is what he did. Samuel said, if you killed everything, then why is this bleating of sheep in my ears? And the lowing of the oxen which I hear. All right. What does that last thing say? In verse 3, ox and sheep. Right? And Samuel's like, okay, well, if you did God's commandment, then why do I hear sheep and ox? And then Saul said, well, they have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and oxen to sacrifice to the Lord your God, but the rest we utterly destroyed. So what did they say? Like, we got a good idea. Good idea. God said, kill everything. But you know what? We're going to keep the best so we can sacrifice it to your Lord. Good intentions, Josh. Right? Good intentions. Like, that's a nice idea. Like, it sounds like, if he's being sincere, it sounds like he's trying to do something good. But what's the problem? What did God say to do? Kill everything. Okay? So, we've got our ideas, we've got our distractions, we've got our worries, we've got our concerns, but at the end of the day, there's one best thing to do, which is do what God says. All right, and then here's the next one. I had to bring this up, Joe. Acts 27, we talked about it Wednesday night. Really cool chapter. Joe's right. This should absolutely be made into a movie. It's super cool. It's really cool. All right, let's look at Acts 27. Start in verse 9. We've got 3 slides with this, so we're going to jump around, but this is all going to be about the same story. Okay? Acts 27. Paul is enslaved on a big Roman ship, and he is making his journey to Rome, correct? Okay, so this is kind of that story. When considerable time had passed and the voyage was now dangerous, since even the fast was already over, Paul began to admonish them, and he said to them, remember, Paul's a prisoner. Like, he's not captain of the boat. He's a prisoner. He says, men, I perceive that the voyage will certainly be with damage and great loss, not only the cargo and the ship, but also our lives. So Paul's kind of telling them, hey guys, we probably shouldn't sail right now. Well, they did. The centurion was more persuaded by Pilate, the captain of the ship, than by what was being said by Paul, right? So then this turns into, a little bit of a disaster. Skip on down to verse 21. When they had gone a long time without food, this is another prediction Paul gives. Paul stood up in the midst and he said, men, you ought to have followed my advice and not to have set sail from Crete and incurred this damage and loss. That was what we just read about. Yet now I urge you to keep up your courage, for there will be no loss of life among you, but only of the ship. For this very night, an angel of the Lord, to whom I belong, and whom I serve, stood before me, saying, do not be afraid, Paul. You must stand before Caesar. And behold, God has granted you all those who are sailing with you. Therefore, keep up your courage, men, for I believe God that it will turn out exactly as I have been told, but we must run aground on a certain island. So what does Paul tell the crew? Remember, he's still a slave. He's like, listen, guys, first time I said, we shouldn't go. What'd y'all do? Win. Caused a bunch of problems. Second go around, maybe y'all will listen to me this time. An angel of the Lord spoke to me. The angel said, you're going to have to run the ship aground, run it and crash it in a certain way, but everyone will live. So you got your choice, right? Here's your second chance. Are you going to listen to Paul, which is really listening to the angel of the Lord, or are you going to do what you want to do? And here's what ends up happening. The first thing that ends up happening is good intentions. Fearing that we might run aground. Wait. Did you all read that? We're going to go back one more time. I got to make sure I'm not crazy. But we must run aground on a certain island. Isn't that what the angel said has to happen? Right? Come on, guys. Just give it, right? Right? It's got to happen. Well, fearing that we might run aground somewhere in the rocks, and that's what's supposed to happen. Right? Yep. Well, they cast 4 anchors from the stern and wished for daybreak. They're like, we might run aground. That's what the angel said was supposed to happen. So they drop anchors, and they're like, if we can just hold our spot until the day comes, we will outlast this thing. But what did Paul already say? You're not going to outlast the storm. You're going to have to ride the storm. You're going to have to crash, but everyone will live. This is how it's going to play out. But as the sailors were trying to escape from the ship and had let down the ship's boats into the sea, this is like lifeboats, right? So God says, I know this is repetitive. God says, you got to crash the boat. And what do people do? They're like, we might crash. We better put the anchors down. And then we better start putting the lifeboats in. Like, that's a normal idea, guys. Like, that's normal. If you're like, worry about getting in a car wreck, like, do all of our airbags work? That makes sense. But God said, you're going to have to run a boat around. You're going to have to crash. So they start letting the lifeboats down on the pretense of intending to lay out anchors from the back. But Paul said to the centurion and to the soldiers, unless these men remain in the ship, you yourselves cannot be saved. And that's kind of terrifying. Like, that's kind of like a creepy prophecy, creepy promise of like, if anybody gets off of this boat, y'all are going to die. When they're doing what's normal. They're doing what's decent. They're doing what makes sense. It's like, if anybody puts on a life jacket, you're all going to die. Like, can you imagine having to, like, police that? But verse 43, those who could swim, this is what happened at the end. They cut the lines, they dropped the lifeboats, everybody's stuck on the boat, and guess what ends up happening? What the angel promised. Those who could swim should jump overboard first and get to land, and the rest should follow, some on planks, others on various things from the ship. And so it happened that they, all were brought safely to land. All right. There's our last example, and then the preaching gets started. It's going to be so good. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Luke 12. Y'all have heard this sermon. Don't worry, right? Man, easier said than done. Don't worry. Don't worry about what? Don't worry about what you believe. I mean, obviously. All right. Don't worry about what you believe. Don't worry about what you put on. Man, it's almost like this. Again, the Lord provided. It's crazy. And which of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to his lifespan? Like, for real. How many of us have ever just thought it out so much that we added time? Usually when we're thinking it out so much, we're only losing time. We're only wasting it. If then you cannot do even a very little thing, why do you worry about other matters? Like, if I can't do that much, why am I worried about that much? For all these things, the nations of the world eagerly seek. People who don't have God in their life worry. And then he says, but there's one thing that's necessary. Seek his kingdom, and all these things will be added to you. Okay. We'll go one more slide after this. Show the world how to deal with worry, what to be bothered by, and the one thing that actually matters. You got Martha, right? She's distracted by all the things of housekeeping, and she's bothered by what Mary's doing. You got King Saul, even with good intentions. He's like, hey, I know God said destroy everything, but we're going to keep the best so we can sacrifice it. That's not what God said. I'm glad you have a real nice idea, but that's not the one thing that actually matters, which is spending time with the Lord and doing what the Lord says. And then you got the Roman vessel, and then it's like, it's good intentions to lay anchor and ride out the storm, and it's good intentions to let out the life rafts and try to escape the storm. It's good intentions. But God said, this is how he's done. Okay, so now let's start preaching a little bit. Okay. All right. Kelsey told me about this. So I'm not picking on Kelsey, but this is a good example of bringing up. Has anybody heard about this, is it pronounced the hantavirus? That outbreak on the cruise boat? Hantavirus? Okay. Can you guys, like, I love y'all. You know I love you, right?
Yes.
Okay. Y'all know I love you, right? So this is like 50% joke, 50% serious. Let's make it 75% joke, 25% serious, okay? Maybe 90% joke, so we're still like, whoa. All right. So y'all are obviously going to be more educated on this than I am. But what little I found out, there's been 3 confirmed deaths so far, maybe more, but 3 deaths. This cruise boat, it's been around South America and Africa. Maybe sound right so far?
Yep.
It's a virus? Okay. All right. Is anybody going on a cruise recently?
Mike.
Will be. Sorry. Is anybody like going to be going on a cruise?
Mike is going again.
Going again, Mike?
Not in that area.
Good call.
All right. So this is my like loving, halfway serious, a lot of joke, a little serious. Okay. As far as I know, basically me and Kelsey and Mike basically are the only people that cruise in this room on a regular basis. Maybe Mark is. Okay, Mark and Lisa some. Okay.
I did a lot
In your prime,
in my day.
back in the day? Okay. Well, here's my point, guys. Y'all are worried about a virus on a boat that you'll probably never get on, in a part of the country you'll probably never go to, on something that has killed 3 people. All right, I'm not trying to be, I'm not, just think about this. You know how many of us are informed about that?
Never heard
Good, well, I'm not talking to y'all then, guys, think about this. I'm worried about a virus on a specific cruise line, and I'm not downplaying it, but something that kills 3 people, it'd be fantastic if we had any disease that killed only 3 people in this country, okay? All right, so it's killed 3 people, and it's like, for most of us that don't even cruise, and most of us that don't want to go to South America or Africa. And you have taken up, me too, okay? Me and Kelsey too. I have taken up space in my brain being concerned about something that has nothing to do with me. Are y'all going to send money to this cruise line?
No.
Are you going to help create a, medication for it? No. But I'm just taking up room in my brain, worried about something halfway around the world that I can do nothing about. That really overall may not even be that bad. Now I'm probably making people mad, and I hope I'm wrong. But man,
I just read this morning or yesterday, that virus has been around forever.
Oh,
So you have a better chance of getting hit by lightning.
yeah. Like for real, it's like if you're worried about that, don't get in your car. Like cars can kill so many people. I was like, cars, that's a terrible idea. Anyway, my point is, and I'm not necessarily saying like you can't watch the news or that all news is bad. I'm not saying that. But we have a tendency in our culture to have information overload. And a lot of the information, it's not even local information. It's not even information that's like, well, that's my parents that live in, South Carolina or something. It's just, I know about this thing that's going on in Quebec. And now I know, oh, that's terrible. Good. Well, like, what am I going to do with that? Martha, you are worried about so many things. You're distracted by so many things. You're bothered about how so-and-so is living their life. Like, for real, why am I bothered about how they live? Like, I don't even have a chance to interact with that person and make them change. Like, realistically. Like, dare I get into politics? I'm not going to go, into politics, but think about, how much time do we spend being mad about the current president, the last president, or the next president? When are y'all going to talk to the president? Like, when are y'all going to have a heart-to-heart with him? Like, maybe we should just kind of move on. Because I know there's a bunch of people that could use a heart-to-heart in Ohio County.
Amen.
All right, I need to shut up before I get to. Okay, let's move on to less dicey territory. All right, how about this? Cell phones are the death of the dinner table.
Yep.
Yes.
Amen.
All right, yeah, see, the safe ground. Okay, safe ground. We're all good. Yeah. All right, cell phones, the death of the dinner table. All right, guys. Maybe here's an idea. Maybe we should put our phones down a little more. Okay. Is it evil to worry about the virus on the cruise boat? Is that an evil thing to do? No. You might even pray for it. Thank you. Okay. Is it evil to play solitaire on your cell phone? It's not evil, right? But sometimes the best thing to be doing is spending time with your family, right? Okay. Guys, hold your wife's hand. I'm just getting all this specific. How about this?
Let's see, Ray.
It's not. You know why guys don't hold their wife's hand?
Because of chickens.
Man.
They don't let us see.
It's
And the walkers is like.
So that dude, you should be with Kelsey has one pace, right? And it's turtle pace. This is turtle speed. All right, guys, it's like I'm not holding my wife's hand. She's too slow. I'm embarrassed by it because, well, if that happens, and it's like there's all these little whatever, and you know what's gonna happen one day. Some of you men are gonna marry your wife, and you're not gonna get to hold her hand. Okay. Guys, kids, my kiddos. Your grandparents are still living. You should spend some time with your grandparents.
I see you there.
Coming over, just going, damn. I know it's hard to believe. But some older people, I won't say an age, but some older people have lived and seen and experienced some things. And probably, besides your parents, no one loves you more than your grandparents. And what would be really, really great is while your grandparents maybe have their mind, you know, ask them some like serious life advice questions. While your grandparents have some decent health, like go get a snow cone. All right? But don't let every other thing bother me and worry me and distract me and not be focused on the best one thing. The best one thing might be time with the Lord. The best one thing might be being obedient to the Lord. The best one thing might be time with my family at the dinner table. It might be holding my wife's hand. It might be calling my grandparent. It might be whatever fill in the blank. But what I really, 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 really hate, really, really hate, is for you all to regret missing out on those opportunities because you're keeping up with, you know, floodwaters over in the Yucatan. You're not gonna miss that if you never get that information. Being concerned about the next animal that's going to go extinct, you will miss time with your family. All right, so here's our last slide. Okay, worried and bothered about everything, but one thing is necessary. All right, okay. All right, so worried and bothered about everything. All right, one more time. Here we go. Worried and bothered about everything, but only one thing is.
That'd be important.
All right. All right, here we go. All right, I've got it. Hang on. What do you think it is, Lisa?
I don't know. Jesus?
This is Jesus calling. Okay?
It must be the ring 3 times.
Jesus is calling. I'll deal with that. Hang on, I'm just gonna put him on hold. I'm gonna deal with that in a minute. Guys, you may not be doing evil. You may even have good intentions. Maybe you're not being malicious. But there's this thing called intelligently disobeying. Maybe you don't need to be worried and bothered about it. Well, I've got this thing to do. I've got this thing you know what? I need to plant. Have you ever thought like this? I got this shrub I want to plant. I'm going to plant this shrub. I need to go get my shovel. I'm on my way to get my shovel. I remembered, the handle's coming out. I need to go get a nail. So I'm going to go get a nail out of my Folgers can that's in the tool shed. And on my way to get the nail, the Folgers can, coffee. I want some coffee. Let me go make some coffee. And on my way to go make some coffee, I'm like, I need half and half. What is half and half? Half what and half what? Let me Google that. And then I Google that. You Google that, and on Google, it says Happy Mother's Day. Oh, it's Mother's Day. I need to get my mom a present. So you get on Amazon, I need, Mother's Day gifts. Mother's Day's gifts. And then you see there's an order coming on Tuesday. Oh, what's coming on Tuesday? Tuesday. Am I going to be here? No, I've got an appointment Tuesday. I got a dentist. That's right. I got to go to the dentist, so I have my insurance. And you go, distracted.
Yes.
Right? Like, man, that stresses me out. That is so stressful, dude. Like, I thought you were trying to plan something, and now you're talking about your dentist appointment. How did we get here?
And your hammer.
Like, mate, huh?
And your hammer.
And your what?
Hammer. For the nail on the shelf.
Oh, and my hammer's. Yeah, I thought you said hair loss. I'm like, no, damn hair loss. Guys, and it's like, God is ringing on the phone. And we keep like, I'll deal with that later. nah, spam, nope. And then maybe we do answer, and it's like, hang on, God, I've got stuff that I want to do. And maybe it's not even like, I want to go out and kill people, and I want to go out and commit adultery, and I want to go out and do drugs, and I'm going to do bad stuff. Maybe it's just like, I got stuff I want to do. I'm building this cool chair with my woodworking junk, and, I want to go hunting turkeys, and I want to work on this thing at work, and I want to go talk to my buddies. And God is on hold waiting for you. Let me tell you something. There's no such thing as dating God. Here's another good one. You can either commit and enter into the best relationship there's ever been, or you cannot be. But if you're dating the Lord and if somebody asks God, is that your spouse? You know what he's going to say? No, because they have not committed. Can we say this one more time? There is no such thing as dating the Lord. You are either in or you're out. Right, Willow? Right. And if God is asked, is that your spouse? Have they joined in spiritual marriage to you, Lord? He's not going to say, like, well, we've been dating. We're probably, it's like either you've been joined with God or you're not. And there's got to be somebody in this room that has not committed into a relationship with the Lord. Maybe it's because of sin, and maybe it's not even bad stuff. Maybe I'm not committed my life to the Lord because I'm just distracted. I'm just worried about what other people think. I'm just worried about what it might turn into, or God holding me to a higher standard. I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that, I'm distracted and bothered, and the one thing I need to do is spend time with Jesus Christ. And I need to quit worrying about what everybody else thinks, and even with good intentions. And when God says jump, I say how high. And I need to think about, like, well, this would be good. If we kept back some of these animals, we'll keep the best and offer them to God. Like, that's not what God said. God doesn't want 90% obedient Christians. He wants people that get everything they have. So, who here today is similar to Martha, is similar to Saul, is similar to the Roman soldiers, is similar to the kind of people that Jesus was addressing in Luke 12? Why are you worried about food? Why are you worried about clothes? Why are you worried about trying to make your life longer? You think worrying is going to help make your life longer? How about this? How about you seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all that stuff will be added to you? That's worth pursuing. Pursue a relationship with the Lord, and everything else will fall into place. Amen. I hope y'all know I love you guys. Okay? There's nothing evil about being concerned about the virus on the cruise boat. This is just an example to say that is kind of crazy that there's a lot of us in here that are pretty informed about something we can't do anything about that will probably never affect us. But man, I know we have people in our families that could maybe use that 14 minutes instead. You know? I know there's a God in heaven that would love those 14 minutes instead. There's only one thing that's necessary. Are you a part of the one thing that's necessary or not? If not, why not? We're going to sing God is so good. If we can help you come forward.